Cubic here from the Man Cave. Week 6 of our social distancing of the quarantine / lockdown, whatever we're going to call it. So we are going to finish with chapter 11 this week, a very important chapter. And then we get to sort of like the denouement, the climax, if you will, the rising action of our story in chapter 12. So kind of excited about that. I'm not excited that I'm going to be doing it online instead of be doing it with you. So today, it's okay. Blast from the past. So we're doing section 11.9, and again, there's a lot of important ideas here, so I split 11.9 into two separate topics. So I'm going to give you pretty easy notes today, and then tomorrow it's a rough one. So I did not write down what the homework was. So today's Monday, April 2020, right? It's a lot of 20s today. We're doing section 11.9, and I'm going to do an A and a B, and we're multiplying binomials with radicals, which is another intimidating sounding concept, but it's not that bad. And tonight's homework is page 545. Numbers 2 through 20 even. So it's 10 problems. It's 10 problems tomorrow night. I just did the homework, so it took me probably 45 minutes to do all three. I don't know. Probably, I'd say give 20 to 30 minutes for each one. Some of them are hard. Some of them are easy. You'll see as I go over the examples. All right, so that is the homework. We have a test on Friday. I will put the scrimmage up on Thursday with the answers, and the test will be like last time. You can scan it and send me the answers. It'll be due by 3 o'clock. So good luck to you on that. Again, I will be here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, mandatory, and Tuesday, Friday. I'll answer questions. So if you have any questions about the scrimmage, you might want to come Friday morning to the optional class, and I'll answer the questions, and then you can take your test later that afternoon. All right, so if you have any questions, again, I encourage you to email me, and I'm going to zoom myself out, and we'll get right to the math. Okay, so here we go. We have Monday, April 20th. I'm going to make this bigger if I can. Okay, Monday, April 20th, and we're doing this 7, 5, or what am I doing? All right, so we're multiplying. So when it says binomials here, okay, so all a binomial is something with two terms, right? So literally it's two, nomen is name, that's what we write in our Latin quizzes. So two names or two terms would be more specific in math, okay? So I'm going to multiply a binomial times a binomial, okay? And all I'm going to do here is FOIL, all right? And just a funny story, I was reminded last year I was going over this. I'm like, this is actually a pretty easy lesson. All we have to do is FOIL, right? And the boy who I called on was like, yeah, I don't know what that is, right? So in case you forgot, right, FOIL is an acronym, okay? So first, so each of these terms has 2, right? So I'm going to multiply the first, okay? So I'm going to have 7 root 5 times 2 root 5, okay? Move this up a little bit. All right, so again, we've talked about this. So I would do, right, 7 times 2, which is 14, and then root 5 times root 5, which is 5. So I get 70. I'm worried I went a little too fast there, so I'm going to just redo that. Okay, so 7 times 2, I multiply the things inside the house, and then root 5 times root 5, I multiply the things outside the house, I multiply the things inside the house. So this gives me 14, and this gives me root 25, so that gives me 14 times 5, which is 70. Okay? So I did the first, all right, Now the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to use a rare one. I'm going to use this, I don't know, goldenrod. Okay, I do the outer. Okay, so let's go slow here. Outer. So outer. So this would be the inside, and that would be the outside, right? So here the outer. So outer or outside, whatever you're going to write. Okay, and so that is going to be, right? Let me think about this for a second. 7 root 5 times negative 6. Okay, and that gives me negative 42 root 5. So that's not bad, right? It's not bad at all. So now I'll go to light blue. Okay, now I do the inner. So if these are the outer, right? These are the inner. So I'm going to multiply 11 times 2 root 5. Which is 22 root 5. Okay? And if you look, everything up here has 2 lines under it except for 11 and negative 6. So those would be the lasts, right? So again, each binomial has 2 terms, a first term and a last term, right? So I'm going to multiply the lasts, right? And again, give me a second here, and I probably could zoom out, but I'm going to leave this. So that's going to be 11 times negative 6, which is going to be negative 66. Okay? So after you've done the FOIL, and I'm going to pause for a second, okay? So here's the situation. I have a binomial times a binomial. I have 2 terms times 2 terms. I multiply the first. I multiply the outer, I multiply the inner, and I multiply the last. And after I've done that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, right? So I have 70 minus 42 root 5 plus 22 root 5 minus 66. Okay? So now you just do likes with likes. So these, right, I can just do 70 minus 66, right, which is 4. And then these are also like because they both have root 5s, right? So I would say minus 20 root 5. And that is the answer. Okay? So I actually started, I think, with one of the harder ones. The next one might be harder. We'll see. Nah, the next one's not as hard. Okay? So just want to make sure you see everything I did. Right? I'll go through slow. So I only have 5 of these, so we have 4 more. And I know I went through that one very slow, so hopefully I don't have to go that slow every time. So here I have 5 root 3 minus 2 root 6. And then I have 5 root 3 plus 2 root 6. So you might want to pause it and do it on your own. I'm going to talk about this one a little bit at the end, so I'm going to put a little star next to it so that we don't forget. Okay? So, pause. All right, here we go. First, 5 root 3 times 5 root 3. Okay? Not awful, right? So that would be 25 root 9, which is 25 times 3, which is 75. Okay? Outer. Okay, so I'm going to have 5 root 3 times 2 root 6, and I get 10 root 18. Okay? Now from here, inner, I get negative 2 root 6 and 5 root 3. negative 2 root 6 and 5 root 3, which gives me negative 10 root 18. Alright, and the last one, I get negative 2 root 6 and 2 root 6, which is 4 root 36, which is 4 times 6. So I get minus 24. Okay? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, it would be a good time to figure out root 18. You could do root 9, root 2, so that's equal to 3 root 2, and start simplifying that. But actually what happens here is these cancel each other out. And I'm left with 75 minus 24, right? So 5 minus 4 is 1, 7 minus 2 is 5, and my answer is 51. That just happens to be my number when I played lacrosse, number 51. Also, misleading prime, 17 times 3. Alright, so this one's kind of cool, I'll tell you why. I mean, you take all these crazy radicals, I mean, look at that, look how long that is, and you do all this out, and you get 51. I mean, it's the same thing as 17 times 3. I mean, those would be factors of 51. Pretty cool. All right, next. That olive drab was a little too much for me, so let's go with maybe a nice lavender. All right, so here. All right. So is another one. I think you should pause it if you're playing at home. All right, and go first. Right, 5 times 5 is 25. Right, outer. 5 times negative root 7 is negative 5 root 7. Root 7 times 5 is plus 5 root 7. And then positive root 7 times negative root 7 is negative root 49. Okay? So I'm going to put a star next to this one. Okay? Because I want it, this is going to come into the category of the one I saw before. Alright? So these guys cancel. And I get 25 minus 7, which is 18. So again, here we have a nice one. It's just crazy. All the radicals cancel each other out, and I'm left with 18. Right? Just a nice, cool problem. All right, so 2 more problems, and then I want to give you I want to do a little sort of debrief on something. So let's go ahead and set this one up. I'm sorry, I think I'm going to turn this sideways for the next one. So here I have 4 plus root 6 quantity squared. Now, I'm going to tell you that if you tell me that that is equal to 16 plus 6, okay, I am going to come to your house and give you a hug. All right, so that is wrong. All right, you cannot distribute an exponent. Okay, so in other words, I can't say that a plus b quantity squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. That's just ludicrous. Okay, that is funny talk, right? No, right? Fail. Epic fails, right? We can put you on the blooper reel. All right, so that is wrong. I mean, that's just wrong. Okay, so what are you supposed to do instead? Well, just remember what this lesson is about, right? The lesson is about multiplying binomials. So this is shorthand for, right, 4 plus root 6 times 4 plus root 6. Now I can FOIL. 4 times 4, 16. Outer. 4 times root 6, 4 root 6. Inner, root 6 times 4, 4 root 6. Last, root 6 times root 6, that would be root 36. So let's simplify a little bit at a time. Okay, so I would get 16 plus 8 root 6 plus 6, which is 22 plus 8 root 6. Okay, so I would not say it's a hard problem, but it's harder than just saying that it's equal to 16 plus 6, right? That is just something you need to be mindful of. I think there's like 2 or 3 of these on the homework. It's not out of the 10, right? So it's not hard. You just need to remember what it's shorthand for. You can't just go distributing exponents, okay? All right, so last problem, and then I want to do the debrief. Okay, so we have 3 root 3 minus root 10, quantity squared. And again, you should take a couple seconds to do it on your own. Don't just wait for me to do it for you. Again, if you distributed that exponent, right, you shop at the jerk store and buy U's, okay? So you need to remember this is shorthand for 3 root 3 minus root 10 and 3 root 3 minus root 10. Okay? So, this time we'll do the Cheshire Cat smile, right? First, outer, inner, last. Okay? First, 3 root 3 times 3 root 3 is 9 root 9. Again, I'm kind of going fast, so that would be 3 root 3 times 3 root 3. If you're a little confused about how I got that. 3 times 3 is 9. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9. Might as well just finish from here, right? So I get 9 times 3, which is 27. Okay? Now, outer, 3 root 3 times negative root 10, right, is negative 3 root 30. Inner, negative root 10 times 3 root 3 is negative 3 root 30. And then negative root 10 and negative root 10 is positive root 100. So I would get 27 minus 6 root 30 plus 10. So the answer to this would be 37 minus 6 root 30. And I can't simplify that. That is the answer. Okay? So a lot of stuff there. Really all I'm doing is taking things that we already knew and mixing them up. So we talked about how to multiply two radicals. Okay? And then we talked about how to FOIL. We haven't done that all the way since chapter 5, but you should know it. Okay? And then we're going to put it together. Now I'm going to talk for a little second about two problems. Okay, the first one is this one. Alright, so you notice that when I did this, I got rid of, there's no radicals in my answer. Okay? And you're like, well, what happened to the radicals? And what you saw was, right here in the middle, right, I had plus 10 root 18 and minus 10 root 18. Okay? So what happens is, when I FOILed, the middle terms dropped out. Well, why did the middle terms drop out? Well, because I had something in the form a minus b times a plus b. Okay? And when I did that, this middle term, right, was minus ab plus ab. That's where all the radicals were, and it canceled each other out. And so I just got a squared minus b squared. Okay? Now I did a harder one first. An easier one would be this one. Okay? So if you look, all right, my answer is 18. So the thing that's significant is I have no radicals. Okay? So this is going to come up tomorrow, right? When I multiplied these two numbers, I got a rational number. We'll look again, right? When I went to do the FOIL, right, the outside plus the inside gave me negative 5 root 7 and plus 5 root 7, which canceled each other out. Now if you look again, right, what is the form, right? The form is a plus b times a minus b. So whenever I had that form, a plus b times a minus b, right, that made the middle terms, the OI, disappear. Okay? That made the OI disappear. Okay? So, I'm going to do one last thing, and this is just kind of to plan in your head for tomorrow. Alright? So you don't need this for tonight. This is just getting you set for tomorrow. Why is that not... Come on, brother. Come on, brother. For tomorrow. Work. Work. Alright, we'll see if it works as I go. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we all know that if I have quantity A plus B times quantity A minus B, that's equal to A squared minus B squared. Okay? So this is the root of difference of squares, right? DOS. Right, is that I know that a squared minus b squared is a minus b, a plus b. So kind of an interesting variation on this is, what if I said root a plus root b, right, and root a minus root b? Okay, so what if I took this and I just changed it from a and b to root a and root b? Okay? Well, so first, root a times root a is root a squared, which is a. And root b times root b is root b squared, which is b. Okay? Root a times negative root b is minus root ab. And root b times root a is plus root ab. Well, these terms cancel, and I'm left with a minus b. So this is what I want to leave you with for tomorrow. If I have root a plus root b times root a minus root b, that's equal to a minus b. Right? Just straight off the line above it, right? It's just kind of a incidental but very useful thing for tomorrow. All right, guys, this ended up being one of my longer ones. Stay safe, wash your hands, tell your parents you love them, try and get off the video machine, maybe go outside for a walk, and I miss you, surprisingly. What's up with that? Peace.